So look, this was obviously not the result you wanted, but I've heard you say you're optimistic today. Why?
Because I have no choice but to be. I'm an American. I live in America. I'm not one of these people that's out here saying, oh, my God, if Donald Trump becomes president again, I'm going to move. Where am I going? Yeah. I'm here. And, I do believe in the future of this country because I have no choice but to. I think what the vice president said in her concession speech was right on point when she said, the light of America's promise still shines bright. I have no reason to feel otherwise. I'm going to wake up, and just be all doom and gloom and tell everybody the world is ending. It's like, no, Americans went out there and it was a free and fair election and they made a choice. And now we all have to deal with, the consequences of that choice. And whether we like it or not, Donald Trump is the president of the United States of America. I know it feels like the divided states of America right. over the last, several years. But it is still the United States of America. So that's what I'm looking for us to do. We got to.
The only people that has been divisive this entire election has been Democrats. Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Cardi B, everybody. They tried to shame y'all in the voting. Even when it came to social media, I seen women from every single state, it seems like, outside of Alaska and Hawaii, and every single state that was pretty much trying to go off on people and men in particular about what happened during this election. And let me tell you something. Still, black people voted at a roughly, I believe, 80% clip Democrat. So even if you wanted to hold somebody accountable for the fact that Trump won, which I'm glad that he won because I was one of the ones that was practically predicting a landslide. And I'm the one that wore the Make America Great Again hat in public and all of that. And so I don't really give two fucks about what anybody says. But the point of the matter is you can't even blame the majority of the people that are in this identity race for identity politics because that's still how they voted because we've been conditioned to do so. And so people are slowly waking up and they're walking away from the Democratic Party and we're going to get them one by one off of the plantation. But him being optimistic, you don't have to be optimistic just from you here. You know what I'm saying? I think that I believe that Charlamagne actually voted for Trump. I believe that in his heart, he knows that he's conservative, but they bought and paid for it. So they can never concede, A. And then B, they got to be a part of the boule and a part of their friend crew. And so he going to show his loyalty to her because he can't admit that he was wrong.
Unify in some way, shape, or form.
You were out there. I saw you at the convention in Chicago. You interviewed Kamala Harris a couple times. Were you surprised?
That she lost?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say surprised. Surprised isn't the word that I would use because it's a toss-up. It was going into the election.
It was never a toss-up.
They were neck and neck. I think that she needs to get a lot more credit than she probably is going to get because the campaign was dead. Literally.
With Biden.
Oh, yeah, the campaign was dead with Biden. I know people make a lot of jokes about the whole weekend at Bernie's thing, and they would say things like, I would vote for Biden if he was a corpse. Well, he damn near was. And, there was no life whatsoever. And I think that the vice president made a lot of people sit up on the couch and pay attention and at least be curious. With Biden, everybody was just knocked out, sleep, gone.
Have you talked to her since the loss?
No, I haven't, but I can't wait to.
What are you going to tell her?
I'm going to tell her I love her, I value her, I appreciate her, and, whatever she plans to do moving forward, I'm going to always support her, and I'm going to say what I've, been saying on the radio and on my podcast, that she has nothing to be ashamed about.
We sat up because we couldn't believe the words that was coming out of that woman's mouth, and we was like, no way in hell are we going to elect this woman to be president of the United States of America, considering that she has no idea what she's talking about. And if you're in the White House for the last 3.5 years, you shouldn't have to get ready. You should be ready. Because if you're the person that's standing next to Biden, as she said, making the decisions on a daily basis, how do you not have policy or how do you not truly understand exactly what goes on inside of the White House? Which is one of the reasons why people are saying that she's the worst vice president of all time. But then all of a sudden she made people stand up. No, they was laughing. They wasn't laughing with you. They was laughing at you.
She ran a great campaign and only had 100 days to do it.
They wasted a lot of money. They spent a lot of money.
That's what it is that she did. The first day getting all the delegates in line, raising the money that she raised, digging the campaign out of a hole to where they were neck and neck on election day. And she inspired a lot of people. Like I got 4 daughters, and my 9-year-old and my 6-year-old, when I'm watching, This Week ABC on Sunday morning, or I'm watching CNN or Fox or MSNBC, they're coming in and they're asking me questions about Vice President Kamala Harris. And are you going to vote for the Vice President, Daddy? Yes, I'm voting for the Vice President. And when she lost, they were upset that she was lost. So, she did inspire a lot of people, and it was a historic campaign.
What do you make of the demographics here? I mean, Trump got 1 out of every 3 voters of color.
No.
Yeah.
1 out of
33%.
No.
Yes, he did.
Really?
Yeah.
He should
When you
have
say
got
color,
more.
you mean like black, brown, everything. Oh, well, I think that, people have different issues that they care about, and I think that there's nobody out there that's a single issue voter. I think some of this is a backlash to race and gender and identity politics, but man, most people, they just care about keeping food on their table and keeping a roof over their head. And I think sometimes...
And this is a stark difference from what he was saying when he was, I believe it was on the New Yorker. And he was saying that most people are misogynistic and most people are racist. He said it out of his mouth. He was speaking about the racism and the misogyny that's associated with men, this misogynoir that was associated with men as far as why they wouldn't vote for Kamala Harris, or people wouldn't vote for Kamala Harris because they was racist. Now all of a sudden they cared about the food that was on their table. Come on, man. Come on. Consistency is key.
People forget about that. I think that they forget about, the working class. And for whatever reason, Donald Trump speaks to the grievances of the working class in a real way. And I keep telling folks, people will forget what you did, they'll forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And when you go back to 2020, even though it was a pandemic and it was COVID,
Yeah.
people don't care. All they know is they got stimulus checks with his name on it, and that's what they remember. And so people think about...
Now they want to reduce y'all down to stimulus checks. You see how disingenuous these people are? They're saying that you got a stimmy check from Trump, and that's the reason why you voted for him. Man, get the hell out of here, bro.
That when you have conversations with folks, they be like, I remember how 2020 felt. And they think that they're going to feel that, in this next term.
Yeah, I mean, how do you explain? I mean, he obviously swept the battleground states. He drove up, turnout around the country in Republican areas, but he did much better than he had done before in places like Chicago, Brooklyn, Queens.
Because of dinner table issues. It's literally that simple. Every day, people wake up and all they want to do is have more money in their pocket and they want to feel safe. I don't care if you're black, white, gay, straight, whatever religion you are, those are the 2 things that you're thinking about every day. How can I keep some money in my pocket, and how can I stay safe? And when you look at, issues like the economy, when you look at the border, and that's what I was telling people. We had this conversation back in February. Yep. I was having conversations with folks, and they was telling me, oh, my God, these gangs are coming into our neighborhood, and I know it's because of the border. We got to close the border. Like, they were having these conversations. And I told you, John, this was the first time in my life that I heard people in my community, black people, brown people, having those conversations. So that was going to be an issue. They felt like things were safer. They felt like the border was safer, under Trump. And by the way, it's not like the Democrats didn't want border security. They just didn't know how to message it right. Build the wall may sound elementary, but you know what that signals to people? Border security. That's it. Yeah. Nothing more, nothing less.
So we're just going to ignore the fact that they let a whole bunch of migrants into this country and left the border open, while at the same time suing Texas for protecting their borders in order to get people over there. We just gonna act like the parole program isn't still in existence, that they're not flying migrants over here into these places and dropping them off into cities like Springfield. We just gonna ignore the fact that migrants was walking into this country without no problem whatsoever during a pandemic, and we gonna act like that's just a stop. That's the reason why they couldn't answer the question, is because they didn't stand on business. Listen, what do y'all think about this? Y'all let me know inside of the chat what y'all rocking with. Also, on top of that, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, plus 20% off of life. Also, we got Stock Club today in the Patreon. Make sure y'all tap into the Bag Chasers. And then last but not least, make sure that you guys get your tickets to come and kick it with me in Detroit, December 14th. It's going to be lit. Discount code Anton. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.